Tyler Catastrophe is a Texas-based American TikToker who went viral for his obsession with Wilbur Soot. That would have been all about the guy if it wasn't for the insane rabbit hole of drama he's gotten himself into. I'm sure by now most people are aware of his controversy regarding Wilbur Soot, his not-so-subtle crush, and his desire to move to Brighton, England.
Great. Bonus points if they're in England, because I want to go there anyway, like right now.
I don't want to be in Texas anymore. It's too hot. It's all the wrong kind of football. I want to move to England right now. I have my shit packed by Tuesday. Actually, I was supposed to be there already. No, I got fucked over by a guy who was supposed to hire me, and that sucks. Is it 1 p.m.? Did I just wake up? Yeah. Did I realize I was in Texas? Yeah. I realized if I go outside, it'll feel like I'm breathing through a fog machine. Yeah. I'm tired of sweating. I want to go see the Brighton Seagulls play. I know they're not playing right now. I know it's the off-season. I don't care. Get me out of Texas, dude. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go to England. I'm fine. I'm normal. I'm totally normal about this. So incredibly normal. Stupid.
But what I would like to highlight as an artist is his sheer amount of plagiarism. Plagiarism is when you present someone else's work, whether it be their ideas, design, or language, as your own, and before all this drama, Tyler Catastrophe was just an artist trying to make a living. Tyler's interest in art splits 3 ways: music, beadwork, and traditional paintings. His music career is undoubtedly his most beloved. Now, Tyler Catastrophe doesn't really engage in explicit plagiarism when it comes to music, because he doesn't make any, but there are some interesting videos that he's made that discuss wanting to build off of other people's work.
Every time I hear a Lovejoy song, I just want to, I just want to sprinkle some good stuff in there. Because vocal melodies are my thing. I can't sing a song without changing it a little bit most of the time. Just gotta make it more interesting and fun to sing. Now, every time I hear a Lovejoy song, I just want to take it, run it through my brain, and then rinse it off like I'm developing film. Not to like seriously change anything, because again, it's all great music. Just to give it that little extra bit of sparkle that I feel like some of them are missing. And again, I cannot say this enough. I love their music. It's great as it is. It's wonderful. However, I just want to take it that little half step extra to make it perfect. And that's basically it for me, I think. This is honestly probably why it's so hard for me to find like an actual band to join. I don't want to write everyone else's part. I don't even want to write lyrics half the time. I just want to sing. I want to focus on my little melodies, my la-la-las, So I guess shout out to Lovejoy for helping me narrow down what it is exactly I want in life, I guess.
Also, getting my voice back took years, and now I'm finally to the point where I can sing an entire set list worth of songs without any extra pain, which is massive if you know me. And now I've had to stop going to concerts because every time I do, I get itchy. And I'm very much an uplift the people around me because they're living their dreams and I can too kind of guy. But how am I supposed to uplift people when it's supposed to be me? I've been holding the door for so many people for so many years. I need to open my own door, I think. But right now I have a career. I make beaded jewelry. I paint. I do TikTok. This is how I pay my bills. I can't just set that aside to start over again. So I've kind of made this deal with myself that if the opportunity shows up and an already established band wants me to join, I'll do it. Like I'll drop fucking everything. But I don't have the time to start another band. I don't have time to find other people who are actually going to follow through. I don't have time to be in a band again for a long time. But I will also be not secretly hoping that a random well-established band that knows what they want and is willing to just go pedal to the metal on life will randomly reach out to me, and I will join immediately, and it'll be great. Bonus points if they're in England, because I want to go there anyway, like right now, and it's just unreleased, but fuck it. My credentials is that I've been singing my entire life and worked myself out of the trenches several times. I write lyrics, I play the trumpet, a little bit of guitar, a little bass, a little bit of keyboard, kind of not really keyboard, my hands are like working independently. Also, I went to university for music business and audio engineering and live sound, and I have a lot of friends who have already made it, who have like Emmys and Grammys and shit. But it's my turn.
He discusses how he doesn't make his own music because he just wants to add that extra bit of sparkle to already produced songs. He also has made constant video after video asking for pre-existing punk bands to let him be a backup vocalist, with the most popular band he's repeatedly pursued being Wilbur Soot's Lovejoy.
Absolutely no idea if one of my favorite bands might want a second vocalist, but I do know I am crazy enough to ask. So hi, Lovejoy! Do you want a second vocalist? My name is Tyler Solona, I'm 26 years old, I live in Texas, but I'm trying to move to England anyway. I'm a massive extrovert, I've been performing since I was 10, and in 2019 I was actually a semi-professional vocalist, but then had to spend almost 5 years getting my voice back after losing it completely because someone hit me with their car. Through the sheer force of audacious determination, I now have my voice back and my vocal stamina, which basically means that now that I can go back to music, not doing so makes everything else feel unfulfilling and sad. I figured I might as well shoot my shot. And I also play the trumpet, which is probably helpful. Anyway, here's Portrait of a Blank Slate. The whole thing. I hope you like it. I mean, you probably like it already, let's be honest. It is your song, but I also hope you like the parts that I'm gonna do. The singing part. You know.
He can be found posting auditions to his TikTok, singing along to some of their songs. He sometimes comes across as quite bitter when talking vaguely about his more successful friends, claiming he was responsible for opening the door for a few of them, which is a claim he makes unfounded quite a few times. When it comes to his interest in music and how it ties into plagiarism, I feel that a lot of his opinions and actions made regarding his attempt at a career as a musician reflect his mindset for how his actual career has gone as a beadworker and traditional painter. His most controversial practice is his beadwork, and this is because he previously claimed he was a two-spirit artist.
TikTok, I need your help, please. My name is Tyler, I'm a transgender two-spirit disabled artist currently stuck living in Texas, and I don't want to be here anymore. But luckily, my hard work for the past couple years is finally looking like it's paying off because I have an opportunity to move all the way from Dallas, Texas to fucking England. And I can't give details yet, but it is kind of my dream job, and it's something I've wanted since I was like 12. And considering last week there were 2 shootings in places I frequent, both within like 20 miles of me, on the same day, I think it couldn't come at a better time. But the only thing keeping me from leaving literally tomorrow is that I have to be able to afford to do it, which, you know. Now, I've been working my ass off for the past year and a half, hoping for this exact outcome. So I've got, like, the beaded jewelry we love, we all know it. That's probably why most of you are following me. And of course, I finally also got my print website up. You can put my art on a skateboard or a coffee mug. But even with everything I sell and put my heart and soul into, it is still very slow going. So I've been told to make a GoFundMe. Here it is, that's me at a market that didn't go well, but hey, I got a good picture out of it.
But the one thing that really never stopped calling was the land I was born to. I was born and raised in Oklahoma, arguably the most indigenous state given how many times it was taken away and then leased back to its people. Peoples who have endured immense suffering, time and time again, and even in continued suffering, have fought tooth and nail to keep not only their lives, but their ways alive, even when their stories and histories and ceremonies have been outlawed by people who saw what they had, saw their kindness and generosity, and decided to take everything they had away from them. And it's rare that I talk about my own beliefs and experiences with spirituality or whatever word you want to use for it, mostly because I'm not the debating type, but if there's one thing I hold to be absolutely true, is that the land remembers her people. And while there is a lot to be said about the generations of breeding out the savage, quote unquote, something I hate saying, and the very racist intentions of Blood Quantum, but when it comes to me personally, the land I was born to holds a great deal of importance to me. When I'm sure of nothing else, I'm sure of where I come from. And somewhere in the years of educating myself, and learning the stories and the histories, and finding the truths and the lies I was taught, I found the ways of my home. And while I would never claim a heritage I have no way of proving, I would never take opportunities away from the people that deserve them, and would never take up space in a culture I was not welcome to, if honoring the ways of the people of my home, learning their histories and doing what little I can to help keep their ways alive, and referring to myself as Two-Spirit as a way of honoring the weight of my own soul and the way it guides me home, with the blessing of my deadliest auntie, by the way, is something that you would consider morally corrupt, then I don't think we will ever understand each other. There is a lot I don't share about myself, a lot I don't tell about myself, not because I'm ashamed or because I think it's wrong, but because it's likely to be misunderstood, and I don't always have the words to make it understandable. But at the end of the day, everyone has those things that are likely to be misunderstood, and with so many people's love of assuming things they have no way of knowing, it's really no wonder we keep them to ourselves.
The term Two-Spirit was coined by North American native tribes to represent the cultural identity of how they perceive gender. It is very important to recognise that this does not reflect modern or westernized versions of gender identity, and that the sole reason the Two-Spirit is so closely protected is due to its cultural significance. Tyler Catastrophe has made a few videos discussing the use of his label Two-Spirit, of which they don't really properly address the actual problem that most people have an issue with, especially when it comes to his apology video.
I am a beadworker who is not a recognized member of an indigenous tribe or nation.
My name is Tyler,
I'm a transgender Two-Spirit.
disabled artist.
Which is actually why I bead the way that I do. It's why I avoid beadwork with fringe.
My name is Tyler, I'm a transgender
Two-Spirit.
disabled artist.
It's why I avoid the tight, repetitive beadwork that is often seen in native work.
My name is Tyler, I'm a
Transgender Two-Spirit.
disabled artist.
It's why I avoid traditionally native motifs like the Four Directions.
My name is Tyler, I'm a
Transgender Two-Spirit.
And the bold, opaque color schemes that are often seen in native work.
My name is Tyler, I'm a transgender
Spirit.
And if I showed you this necklace that was inspired by a couture designer, put it next to something like this and ask you which one was more likely to have been made by a white man,
Tyler, I'm a transgender
Spirit.
disabled artist.
you'd probably say this one. I have a lot of friends who are indigenous beadworkers.
Tyler, I'm a transgender
Two-Spirit.
disabled artist.
Because we run in the same circles. And I do very much hope that if I ever crossed that line that they would tell me so that I could correct the behavior.
My name is Tyler,
I'm a transgender Two-Spirit.
disabled artist.
Tyler's use of the term Two-Spirit to describe himself is something I've only ever been able to find in videos where he is either self-advertising, showcasing his GoFundMe, his beadwork, his art, or in videos where he is defending his use of the term. There is no real exploration or elaboration on his identity that you would find other indigenous creators make. His defensive videos only make his situation worse as he reads as someone impeding on a culture that does not accept him. For example, in his video where he attempts to describe his connection to indigenous culture, he makes numerous mistakes. 1.
But the one thing that really never stopped calling was the land I was born to. I was born and raised in Oklahoma, arguably the most indigenous state given how many times it was taken away and then leased back to its people.
Referring to Oklahoma as arguably the most indigenous state is poor reasoning to solidify a possible link to indigenous cultures in that area. Being born on colonized land does not separate you from the colonizers, and it is weird to think that argument would prove otherwise. 2. When specifically referring to indigenous land, not just Oklahoma, he refers to it as his home. I understand he's wording it to sound like he feels a connection to some indigenous tribe, but it just comes across as very insensitive and reads as recolonizing something they have, as he has stated, fought very desperately to preserve. His apology video is even worse. He states,
I am a beadworker who is not a recognized member of an indigenous tribe or nation.
I'm not claimed by any tribe, rather than getting into more detail about why he used this term if not claimed. It seems inappropriate to try and insert himself into a culture that clearly hasn't accepted him. There's still no answer as to why he ever did this, and I feel the term not claimed leaves room for him to still argue about sensitive family history that he refuses to elaborate on. He also mentioned having indigenous friends and hoping that they would correct him on his disrespect.
I have a lot of friends who are indigenous beadworkers because we run in the same circles, and I do very much hope that if I ever cross that line that they would tell me so that I could correct the behavior.
It is not your Indigenous friend's responsibility to correct you. It is your responsibility as an adult to engage in the plenty of content online that tells you exactly how to approach this, especially something with as much discussion as the label Two-Spirit. It is really entitled and selfish to expect a native to not only act as a teacher, but to have to experience the exhaustion of teaching someone how to not be ignorant towards something so sacred to them. I have tons of friends that have all shared stories about other people being racist as fuck towards them in ways that makes it awkward and uncomfortable for them to have to deal with, where they get scared to be upset about jokes because it's just a joke, or they're afraid to correct someone out of fear of losing the friendship or getting into an argument about something so sensitive. The worst detail is, I don't think he even really knows why everyone takes such a big issue with it. People would be upset at the use of the label, but the main outrage is because the terms seem to only ever be relevant in situations where he's asking for money. Other Indigenous creators mock his jewellery not because it looks the same, but because he advertised both himself and his jewellery as being Two-Spirit in the same videos. It is the direct action of not only being perceived as a colonizer, misusing his sacred identity, but also profiting off it and taking away potential customers that would have supported actual tribe members who are actually claimed by said tribes. Whether or not he believes he's truly Indigenous, he isn't claimed by anyone per his own admission. If you aren't claimed by them, you cannot claim them. All of my Indigenous friends are claimed, and all of my friends who are slightly related to someone who is Indigenous don't self-describe using the same terms because they understand that relation to a tribe does not mean that you are part of one, even if you so desperately want to be. His plagiarism with his jewellery is more with the identity he tried to connect to them. While he's tried to rebuke his previous actions, he hasn't really done it in a way that shows genuine growth, understanding, or reparation. There's not a portion of profits that are donated to any local tribes in this area, as I can see. He in fact has never ever mentioned a specific tribe either, and hasn't really done anything to try and uplift other native business owners from what I can see online. Not to mention his exorbitant pricing that just reads as a cash grab. Pocket watching artists is frowned upon. There's a lot of drama when it comes to getting opinionated about someone else's prices, but paired with my personal research and how he advertises his items, I feel like this is an important point to mention. His necklace pricing is always going to be a huge point of contention. Over £1,000 for one piece is exorbitant, but in all honesty, a necklace like that is a luxury and not a commodity, so he can price those more elaborate one-off pieces for whatever he wants. And if it sells, then lucky him. My issue is with his quote-unquote more affordable work. His mushroom earrings are priced at $15, his cheapest piece of jewellery. And when I Google mushroom charms, I see that exact pack of 16 that sells for about $10, meaning one mushroom charm is valued at around 75 cents. And I'm assuming the nickel-free earrings are probably around the same price range, if not a little higher. When it comes to reproduced products like this, you often price it based on the cost of the materials plus the time it takes to make. Hi, Future Monty here. I'm editing the video right now and I realised I did the script wrong. I estimated the maths, so I said that each pair was around $2 to $4 just on the cost of materials alone. It is 68 cents, my bad. That is a lot cheaper than I assumed. This is also just an estimate, by the way. I did assume that he gets his nickel-free earrings from Amazon. He could get it from somewhere more expensive. I don't know. I just considered because the mushroom charms are from Amazon, the nickel hoop earrings probably also are from Amazon too, so... Why is it $15 for the cheapest pair? The way he doesn't disclose a lot of his materials properly is a bit of a concern, especially when it's revealed that a lot of his work is produced using cheap materials despite his proud claims that he only sources the best.
So I became familiar with Tyler when I saw a video he made last summer saying, I am a trans man trying to get out of a red state that has banned gender-affirming care, and I need you guys to buy my jewelry so I can get out of here. And me being a dumb bitch that I am, I was like, oh yeah, I can do something nice for my community. I can buy a necklace, I can help this guy get out of a red state with, he said he had a roommate or a partner or something that he needed to leave with, and I was just, okay, let me help. Wrong. So I went on his Etsy, and I remember the necklace was very expensive. You guys have probably seen this one in the videos. I got this one. And it came with a ribbon that ties it together, but the ribbon broke, like, as soon as I used it, so I can't wear this anymore, and I don't want to. The necklace, I literally do not even want to think about how much it costed, because I remember it, like, took away my whole paycheck, but, I bought it, and I had to wait around 6 months to get it. I bought it in July, and then it did not arrive at my house until, like, late December, very late December, early January, which is fine, tariffs, am I right? And anyways, so it arrived, and it was, as you can probably see, shriveled up. It is shriveled up. To get it to fit properly, you need to pull it very tight, and due to this, I have literally worn it maybe like once. I have worn it once because it's fucking a pain in the ass to put on. And I found out that this is because he likes to model them before he fucking sells them. Lucky me! So, it had been months and months and months since I received my necklace. And I start seeing all these videos like, oh, Tyler Catastrophe is a Wilbur Soot defender. And I'm like, that name kind of sounds familiar. Oh, that face kind of looks familiar. It's because I fucking bought a choker from this motherfucker. So I, at first, was very upset to know this, and I am honestly completely blaming myself. I should have done more research on this motherfucker, and I will get to why very soon. All I did, I saw one video, I'm like, okay, I can help. Went on his Etsy, bought the necklace. That was literally point A to point B. It was quick. I'm stupid. So after I found out about that, I went and told my roommate about it, and we like laughed it off, and I was just like, fuck, like this is really bad. Like, he is a fucking dickhead, obviously. And so I don't want to get banned. After that, I started like looking into it more because I'm like, I literally never want to make this mistake again. What is wrong with this guy? Like, what has he done? And so I found out about the Wildersit stuff and how him trying to move out of a red state is bullshit. He just wants to move closer to Wilby. He just wants to move closer to little slappy pie, cookie bear, bitey pie. I don't fucking. And so after that, it was a downward slope of me finding out more shit about this Caucasian motherfucker, including the fact that he's now saying he's Two-Spirit. What? Would I buy from him again? No. It came missing with fucked up several rows. It looks vaguely like it does in a photo. Vaguely. It came greasy, like, and I thought this was a shipping issue, but no, it is, like, genuinely just, like, it is greasy. Like, I feel the grease residue on my fingers right now.
There's also the issue that he has accepted, in my opinion, way too many orders, and the waitlist is kind of outdated. As of right now, he apparently needs to make over 300 pieces and is still working on orders from August of last year. All of this paired with the fact he advertised his business not only using labels like Two-Spirit, but in videos where he is crying, begging for monetary support. The clear price gouge reads as grifty, and like a lot of his focus is just on the monetary gain. My thought process is, if you're crying online for financial support, why not allow yourself to be more financially accessible to audiences where it clearly isn't an issue of materials eating up most of the cost? We see this with his traditional paintings. He has made videos complaining about not making sales and laughing at public encounters where his work is valued at much lower than he personally believes it should be.
Hi, I'm gonna do reaction cam because I feel like I can add a lot more of an opinion here. My cat is getting in the way. Hello, Kiwi. So we're gonna get into the first video straight away because I do have a lot of opinions. Oh my god, Kiwi.
Here's something really dumb. So some rando, aka the art collector expert, just told me that $1,800, $1,800 was way too much to pay.
It is, but it's not because of the painting itself, it's because this entire concept is plagiarized.
You know, talking about Dale the McWonderbrush the past couple of days has really made me realize that I have a lot of paintings that I'm very proud of. And with a lot of them, I am so surprised they have not sold yet. Why? Because like a lot of the bigger ones are higher price points. Like I get it. But I have a lot of paintings for less than 200, and I think I just need to show y'all.
I like how he tries to sympathize with the fact that he understands a lot of his artwork is just priced really, really, really high. But to kind of meet that then and be like, but I have stuff that's under $200. Under $200 is still so much money. I'd say anything above $50 is not cheap.
Clearly you're missing out. And I'll put the prices on the screen with shipping included, but like this one?
$45. I can tell that he is definitely trying to do something very abstract. He is definitely going for like abstract artist type of style. But the thing is, the biggest mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to trying to make abstract art is that they don't really understand what the actual appeal is. I feel like the biggest problem with Tyler Catastrophe is that I can't gauge any meaning from this. All it looks like is like he has tried to make something abstract and like halfway through he was like, oh, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna add some red dots there.
Made me really happy to make. It's got spikes on it. That's so much fun. Also, there's a pillow on the floor by my feet to catch the smaller paintings because I have a flair for the dramatic. And you might notice that I like giving old things new life because these ones are made out of an old...
Cutting up tarot cards, I'm pretty sure, is not... Editor Monty here. I couldn't actually verbalize why I was irked by these paintings, but I realized it's just because the centerpiece of those paintings aren't his art. It's the tarot card that is drawn and produced probably by another artist.
And then these ones are some of my oldest paintings from my first painting series. And honestly, I have no idea how they haven't sold.
I really like that painting that he is holding right there. I've actually seen it on his print shop. The story that's being told behind this painting is basically about dysphoria. Interesting. Painting has meaning that is relevant to the artist and may be relevant to someone that would purchase it. 2, the use of colour is really, really good.
Oh yeah, these are really fun. Watercolors are so much fun. You just like throw that shit. It's awesome. These two are made out of older paintings that I decided...
Same problem as I mentioned before. It looks really interesting, but I can't really gauge a story or any meaning behind it other than I see it's a spade, so maybe it's to do with taking a bet on life. I don't really know. I feel like he would really benefit if he could give more information about his work as he's selling it.
I didn't like anymore, and honestly, I love them so much more now.
that again has the same problem as the first painting, where it just looks like he's trying to make something abstract, but there's no intention, there's no meaning behind it. It's just, I did this.
I literally just cut this one up. It was so much fun.
Yeah, like, that's my exact point. Thought process, there's no caretaking, it's just, oh, this is fun, I'm gonna cut this up, and then charge a lot for it, as if it's something with deeper meaning.
And after the bigger one I showed y'all yesterday, I'm kind of known for my stained glass style.
I don't like his stained glass art just because his glass art is the biggest example of repeated plagiarism that I have against him, that I will be showing you further in the video.
And I decided to play off of that with these. These are just so pretty. I can't believe I did that. I love hummingbirds. Amazing. This one I've shown y'all before because it's awesome. Duh. This part glows in the dark. I have no idea how to capture it on camera for y'all, and I'm sorry for that, but like, it's just so amazing, and I love showing it off.
That is a really interesting painting, but I really wouldn't value it at 185. I would value it probably 150 would be pushing it, but I would probably value it at like 100. I would say 100 would probably be the safest price that you could go for, because I do know some people that would probably buy that and be like, oh, that's cool, yeah, that's spooky. This is where he plagiarizes other artists the most. His most blatant example of plagiarism is with J.S. Harshell. This is Harshell's original work, and this is Tyler's painted version of it. When it was originally posted, Tyler gave full credit to Harshell, and it ended there. However, it wasn't until recently, when Tyler blew up, that Harshell realised Tyler was actually trying to sell that piece, both as the original painting and as prints up on his Threadless account.
Hey chat, I don't know if anyone is gonna know what I'm talking about at the moment. Tyler Catastrophe, he put up a painting for like $1,800 and got, like, someone said something about it, said it was too much money, blah, blah, blah. He then repriced it to $32,000. I say this because that painting is of me. For those that don't know, that painting, I got this from an account on my free page. I'll tag them at some point, I think. If I can find their account again. Yeah, hold on. There I am. That's me. So, again, 2021, my account, that's me. He had reached out to me in 2021 to paint me. I didn't know who he was at the time. I didn't realize this was all gonna happen. And I have the receipts of him DMing me. I'll put them up in a second. I feel involved. I'm not really involved. Like, that has nothing to do with me. I have no say in the pricing, what he does with this painting, nothing. But I'm in awe that it's the painting of me that is, like, controversial at the moment. So here's the DM of him asking to, like, and I said, give me credit, tag me, whatever. And he did. There it is in my DM. And also, he follows me. Didn't know that, and has followed me since 2021. Never followed him back. My bad. I know this has absolutely nothing to do with me, but I feel involved. If you want to see the video, it's pinned on my account. It was for my anthropology project my freshman year of college. It was a photo shoot I did with my friend. To Katie Turner's song, God Must Hate Me. Shout out Katie Turner. Love you down. This is just really weird to me.
Harshell has stated in comments that he was fine with the painting, but that he was uncomfortable with his design, work and likeness being sold. This is where Tyler's attitude of taking the final product and adding some sparkle really rears its head, as this is not the only incident, only the most brazen. His collection of painted glass art have numerous connections to other pieces of work, and more specifically, they often connect to actual glass art found on Etsy stores. This raccoon, for example, he referenced twice, directly replicating the head and changing a few of the body elements. This collection of frogs were found duplicated and pictured only on a vending table that Tyler was selling. This fox glass frame is made by a little girl, and Tyler also took this for a larger glass painting. Hi guys, it's day 3, and I found the hummingbird. The hummingbird is from a glass pattern. Yay! I found it. It is a one-to-one direct reference. The same amount of feathers in the wings, same amount of feathers in the tail, the eye connects to the beak in the back of the head. The exact same thing. It could even be traced. I have no clue. I'm not going to line it up. I'm tired. You do that. The only thing about this HummingBird though is that it's from a store on Etsy called GlassPatternClub, and this store states that as long as you purchase either the digital or printed copy of their glass pattern, that you will be allowed to sell whatever you make out of that pattern. Now the problem is that I can't verify whether or not Tyler has actually bought this pattern. If he's bought the pattern, it changes things. It makes this not a problem, but if he hasn't bought it and he's just gone along and referenced it anyway, then it is a really big problem. What I can say is that either way, this looks really bad for him, because this is just another example of him not making something from his own initial design. If you don't know why it's bad, Tyler does, and he's gonna explain it to you right now.
What is the difference between gatekeeping and protecting your intellectual property? Well, I'll tell you. A couple days ago, I made a post about how I had to block one of my mutuals because they were copying my work. And while what they made wasn't an exact copy, by the time they had posted that piece, they had asked for my patterns, they had asked me exactly what materials I use, and they had told me to my face that they wanted to copy the way that all of my necklaces tie in the back with a ribbon, which is my thing. And then they posted the piece they made for sale at a fraction of the cost of my work. So I made a post about it on several different platforms to set the expectation of, if I see you copying my work, I will have to block you. And while most of the people who follow me, watch my videos, like my posts, were very supportive, and thank you for that by the way, there were a few that accused me of gatekeeping. But here's the thing about that. I wholeheartedly encourage anyone who wants to try their hand at beadwork to do so. I have absolutely no issue telling you what materials I use, ways to make it easier on yourself. Hell, I'll even tell you where I get my materials. But when you get to the line of what I do, what I make, and how I make it, that is where it becomes my art. And when you cross that line of my art, that is where it becomes plagiarism. Take your favorite musician, for example. You can ask them as many times as you want what brand of instrument they use, where they draw their inspiration from, but if you were to take one of their songs and rewrite it and sell it as your own, that's where it becomes plagiarism, and that's where you get sued. It's the exact same thing with every other form of art. So if you want to use Toho beads and monofilament beading wire to write your own patterns, go ahead, I encourage you to do so, it's fun! But if you use those things I told you about to start making a bunch of mushroom chokers that tie in the back with a ribbon, or you try to start copying all the patterns that I spent 8 years of my life trying to perfect, and then you go trying to sell them at a lower price than I do, that's the stuff that's widely regarded as kind of a dick move. Especially because stuff like this is my job. This is how I pay my bills. And it took me almost a decade to get to the point where that could be true. So if someone tells me they want to copy me, and then shows me that they're going to copy me and sell it for a lesser price, I would risk losing everything I've built for myself. And that's not something I'm willing to do. So by blocking the people who want to copy me, I limit their access to my work, thereby lowering the chances of someone plagiarizing my work. And to tell me that I'm in the wrong for wanting to protect what I do and how I live my life, you're telling me that the work that I put into it doesn't matter. And while sure, imitation may be the highest form of flattery, which isn't the entirety of that quote by the way, to directly rip off my work and sell it for your own gain is a huge disrespect to me and everything I've done. So no, I'm not gatekeeping beadwork or anything else associated with it. I'm just protecting my work and the way that I live my life and pay my bills by not telling someone how to make plagiarism easier. And in case you needed another metaphor, why would I invite you to sit at my table when I know you're taking work off of my desk? And while I really didn't want to need to say any of that, I guess it is a sign of some success. I mean, after all, it has taken me 8 years to get to the point where this is something I do regularly. And honestly, who wouldn't want to make stuff like this? I know I do. I made it! But that doesn't mean it doesn't still suck when I have to deal with it. So I guess all that to say, don't let people tell you you're not allowed to protect what you do. If you made it, and you made it your own, and you did it your own way, you're allowed to want to keep your work yours, no matter what medium you're using. So go forth and make something fucking awesome. Just make sure you're not copying anyone first. Okay, love you, bye.
I'm not sure how he can justify it for himself but be disturbed when others approach his work in the same way, and I think one of the biggest points of contention against him are the scenarios where he has been making money, and this is where I have the biggest issue with him. his GoFundMe. I'm from the UK and politically it's a mess. I'm in Cymru and we have Plaid Cymru right now, which is a particularly left-leaning party, but just under half of Cymru and a majority of England support Reform, being the leading party in England. This group aligns very closely with Donald Trump, and if Tyler's biggest reasoning for needing to quote-unquote escape Texas is down to politics, he's gonna end up dealing with the same shit in a different accent. He's vague in comments when asked directly about his reasoning for choosing England specifically, and has had repeat arguments where he's downplaying real issues in the UK and overinflating his own personal issues in the US. For example, this argument here, the tear gas canister is valid, but feels like a moral brag to mention it's because he helps someone, and to make a situation about a random black man entirely unknown to him, presumably about to be brutalized by a white police officer, somehow about himself being the victim, is weird. And to bring this up as if there's nothing like that at all in the UK, flashbang is valid. We also have our own Proud Boys in the UK, just look at all the recent events happening in protests, and his last phrase of not to mention the ridiculous things about my sexuality or gender. We get that in the UK. Me and my wife got harassed by an old ass drunk guy for being sick and disturbed on our wedding day because we're an interracial lesbian couple. It happens here too, and you have to have thick skin about it so you don't escalate the situation and put yourself in a dangerous position. Given his GoFundMe title changed from Help Me Escape Texas and Pursue a Dream to Help a Disabled Trans Guy Escape Texas, shows quite a big change in story. There's a lot of information Tyler has stated as a selling point that have been found to be false or over-exaggerated. The Two-Spirit statement, his art, his jewellery, and even his dream job turned out to be not exactly as he stated. I'm sure you're all aware of the Stuart Semple drama in which Tyler took a positive maybe as a job offer and ran with it.
I'm trying to move to England. There's a job waiting for me. It's something that I specialize in, and it'll give me enough free time to also focus on my own work and building my own name. And I'm super excited, so it's gonna be with my friends, and it's awesome. Because right now I have an incredible job working with amazing people in England waiting for me, and I just have to get.
I just love asking for help on the internet. Because I found my dream job, and I got my dream job, but I gotta go to the dream job. And the only way to do that is to pay to get there. So I made this thing. See, I managed to land my dream job after years and years of working.
I have a job waiting for me with a group of just incredible artists that I can't disclose, but it's been like a year in the making. I got to visit them last year when I went for my birthday. About it, but I'll forget. His name is Stuart Semple. I wasn't gonna say anything, but like whatever. And a couple years ago, I flew halfway around the world to meet an artist named Stuart Semple. With the help of the scheduling director at the time, I got to spend some time in the Culture Hustle studio. I made amazing friends. I helped work on some things, and it was the most inspired I had ever been in my life. I definitely did not want to leave ever. Before this visit, during this visit, after this visit, me and Stuart had messaged back and forth quite a few times. I thought he was great, but then of course I got back to the States, realized I really didn't want to be there anymore, and I wanted to go back to England. So I took a chance, which is what got me to the studio in the first place. And I asked Stuart outright, "Hey, I need to be out of my current living place by this time. If I can get the funding together, if I can make the move happen, would you hire me?" And when he said that we could probably make that happen, I was ecstatic. I was over the moon. And looking back, that really was just a positive maybe, but it really felt like a yes in the moment. But as we got closer to the time that I had given Stuart that I needed to move, all communications. I was staring homelessness in the eye and begging it to flinch. Because at the end of last year, I got really screwed over. I was supposed to have a job in England waiting for me, and then they pulled out at the very last minute. And I was supposed to be working for Stuart Semple of Black is Black and Culture Hustle fame. I was actually supposed to be working for him as part of Culture Hustle. And obviously, I'm not. And I don't like dragging names if I don't have to, but some people were guessing, messaging me to guess, and I would rather be honest than allow speculation. My career was in a full upswing. I had just done my first solo exhibition. I was being handed so many opportunities. As stupid as it sounds, I was kind of a local celebrity, but I knew that my dreams were a whole lot bigger than Texas, and I needed something else. And after getting to go to England and visit the Culture Hustle studio and absolutely fall in love with the work they do there, and after looking up to Stuart Semple for like half my life, I asked if I could work for him. And he said that we could figure something out. And he knew that I had a deadline to make it happen, but once that deadline started approaching, he completely ghosted me for months. But the closer we got to that deadline, the less I got. But eventually I just went around him to his assistant, and she was kind enough to give me the no that I needed. Actually, fuck Stuart Semple. I've been so incredibly pissed off at the way this man fucked me over for over a year, and I don't like being angry. I traveled 8,000 miles to spend a day in the Culture Hustle studio, completely fell in love with it while doing what was actually free labor now that I think about it. And then he starts looking for a new assistant, and I'm told to apply, so I do. And then when I don't get that job, honestly really glad I didn't. I'm not made to be someone else's assistant. So I ask him, point blank, hey, can I have a different job in the studio and I'll just move to England? I'll raise the funds myself. I've got to be out by this date. Could it happen? And he said yes. So what do? I put my career on hold, sell basically almost everything else I own, start turning down opportunities thinking I'm gonna be in a different country when they happen. Doing the work because I go all in or nothing. And what does he do? Fucking ghosts me. Once where I was getting him opportunities with even bigger artists, because in my head we were friends. What the fuck? And while I'm being actively ghosted by this man, he posts on his Instagram story, replying to someone asking for a job, telling them to apply. But you can't answer me. And eventually I get so fucking fed up and out of my mind that I have to go to his assistant and be like, hey, can you just fucking tell me if this is happening or not? And she's like, no, I'm so sorry. We hope you have a good life. And I'm like, fuck off, okay. I was originally supposed to move to England a couple years ago. I was supposed to move to Bournemouth, which is also on the south coast. But then the job I was supposed to take fell through at the very last minute, and so it kind of a tailspin.
His GoFundMe now still states that he has an amazing opportunity to move to England and further his art career, even though that's provably false from his own numerous admissions. At the end of the day, in my eyes, Tyler Catastrophe is a grifter. He falls into a lot of traits for it. He appears very friendly, talks about moral standards in an educational way that he ultimately doesn't actually follow, and has mask-slipping moments where his true entitled nature is revealed. He's vague about a lot of things that fall apart once questioned, and in my personal opinion, he's very lucky that it genuinely has only been an internet thing. As of right right now, he's raised over $16,000 for his move to England, has over 1,000 Ko-fi donation, and has claimed he's made over 1,000 orders. This isn't including any profits he's made from market stalls or from working on freelance commission projects. I don't know how many people donated to him without the knowledge that a lot of his claims have been heavily scrutinized, and how many people would have not donated if they had known. All I know is that if he really does want to crowdfund his move to England, he should do it in a more honest way that doesn't rely on provably falsified information. You're a man who fell in love with England, have an idealized version of it in your head, and just really want to live there. It's not bad to ask for financial support to pursue that dream, but it's bad to try and frame it as anything other than that in an attempt to mislead audiences to donate to you that previously wouldn't have considered it. I don't think Tyler will ever move to the UK, especially not Brighton. His skill set that he's advertised online seems like he has no real degree, no real portfolio, and not really any experience either for both the type of job market he's looking for and for the global talent visa he's looking to acquire. Legal immigration has been made 1,000 times harder in the UK, and even if he gets all the GoFundMe money he's after, it's definitely not enough. I enjoyed this video. This was the first drama video I've made since I was like 14, and as fun as it was, I don't know if I'll ever do it again because I have a headache, and I was only interested in this because of the art aspect. I don't make money off of YouTube yet because I don't meet the requirements, so if you'd like to support me and the stuff I make specifically, I do have a Patreon where you get to see all of my art and some sneak peeks to special little projects like my dress up video game. Before I end this video, I would also like to thank my patrons Avmil, Matea, Maisha, George, Ducky, Trex, and Maymay. I am very sorry for being so deceased.